Rock, broadcasting from a van down by the river.
Now the pitch. It's a high drive, deep right center, way back. Might be out of here. It's off the wall. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. A third man scores.
Do you want to hit like a pro? Big Flies, changing the way you play one bat at a time. Handmade, lightweight wood bats, custom designed to individual orders in Chico, California. You can reach Big Flies through Babs Big Flies on Facebook Messenger or simply by calling Kevin 530-513-7371. Big Flies, changing the way you play one bat at a time.
Hey everybody, DP here. Tune in Sundays to the West Coast Wiffle Report live on Blog Talk Radio as we chronicle all things wiffle ball.
Fast Plastic is back. The 2018 Texas Open in Frisco, Texas. Saturday, October 6th, Columbus Day weekend. Battle through 24 of the hardest hitting teams to take home the most coveted prize in the history of the sport. Fast Plastic. We're back bigger and better. $10,000 in a national championship. Register now. www.fastplasticnct.com. Fast Plastic. It's about the game.
You're listening to the Fast Plastic Radio Network. It's about the game.
And welcome to the Fast Plastic Radio Network. I'm JB alongside the host, Billy O.
What do you know, JB? Blowing my ears out over here.
Oh, boy.
Let's see. Test. 1, 2. How am I sounding over there?
I think you sound good.
Test. 1, 2. Maybe knock me down my phones here, maybe a notch. How about that? Yeah. We'll go with that for now.
All right.
All right. Welcome to the show. Another edition of Fast Plastic Radio. How many is this now, JB? You keeping tabs over there?
I've lost track, actually. But I do know it's been since December, and we had a short siesta in there, so it's not been too bad.
Well, we did all those test shows.
That's right. We did. We have hit 1,000 views, and we've hit this last episode 658 views with a lot of shares.
Yeah, I mean, I always forget to share it myself on my work thing.
Well, Will Marshall shared it. Way Too Beautiful shared it. Arizona Wiffle Ball shared it. Wiffle Boy 28, Palisades WBL, Ed Packer, Peter Mockabee, and Jim Dalby. So thanks for the shares, guys. And as always, please share on your Facebook page the show so we can get it out. And earlier, before the show kicked in, we had a person tuned in via Listen to My Radio app from the big UK across the Great Lake.
Lord Kensington?
It might have been. I don't know.
Who knows? He's out there somewhere.
Well, I know he is out there. All right. So I don't know who. Maybe he's checking in on the show, wanting to find out what's going on.
Wow. That's good news. Anytime we get anybody listening, good news, right?
Absolutely. It's always good news when we got anybody listening, and especially wanting to share what's going on. So got a pretty big show lined up for us tonight, huh?
Looks that way. If everything comes together as planned, we will be talking with, first and foremost, Millsy, Adam Milstead, wiffleballtournaments.com. We'll be going down to Houston, talk to Tim Dean. Got a message from Tim earlier. He was actually watching the Astros play down there, so he's in Houston. We'll go to Tim Cook, Mid-Atlantic Wiffle. And then we're going to be speaking with one of the hottest players in the country right now, Connor Young. Then a little bit later on, I'll be talking about some stuff, trashing it up. And then we'll be taking callers.
Absolutely. About the 8:45 Central Standard Time, we'll be taking callers. So I guess without further ado here, we're going to get this show on the road. best way to tell the world about your upcoming tournament is Fast Plastic Radio and WiffleBallTournaments.com. WiffleBallTournaments.com is here to help you locate tournaments all over the nation and find the ones closest to home. If you know of any tournaments that we don't have listed, let us know. We're here to help everyone, players and directors alike. Spread the word, WiffleBallTournaments.com. You can contact WiffleBallTournaments.com, W2BWiffle@gmail.com, WiffleBallTournaments.com. And the man himself is on the line. What's going on, Millsy?
Hey guys, how's it going this week?
It's going great. So what's going on in the wild world of wiffle ball across the nation this weekend?
All right, so over the next week, I have 28 different events listed, and that's across 18 different states. And shockingly enough, there's no backyard rules, so they must be on vacation this week.
Right on.
But anyway, we'll get started with the AWAA Barbecue Bash, and that's in Albany, New York on Saturday. The pitching speed depends on which mound you stand on. It's an unscuffed yellow bat run the base tournament. Next is the Florida State Wiffle Ball League, and it's a fast pitch tournament in Port St. Lucie, Florida on Saturday. That's a fast pitch scuff ball modified bat tournament. After that, I have the HD Wiffle Ball Classic, and that's in Mishawaka, Indiana on Saturday. It's a medium pitch unscuffed yellow bat run the base tournament. Next is the Rock Point Wiffle Fest in Burlington, Vermont on Friday and Saturday. And it looks like it's a medium pitch unscuffed yellow bat tournament. Then I have the City of El Dorado Wiffle Ball Tournament in El Dorado, Kansas on Tuesday. That also looks like it's a medium pitch unscuffed yellow bat tournament. Next is Lilla's Wiffle Ball Tournament, and that's in Montgomery, New York on Saturday. It's a medium pitch unscuffed yellow bat tournament. And me and the WTB guys actually played in this a few years ago and won. And we had a great time. They have tons of raffles and contests and even kegs of beer provided. After that is the WANK, which is Wiffle Ball Association of Northern Kentucky. It's their mid-season classic. That's in Boston, Kentucky on Saturday. And I couldn't find any rules, but it looks like they play medium pitch style. After that is the Wiffle Mania 10, and that's in Monroe Township, New Jersey on Saturday. It's a fast-pitch scuff ball modified bat tournament, and I know Connor Young loves this tournament, so maybe you could talk to him about that later on tonight. After that is the 105.3 The Fan Polo Wiffle Ball Tournament, and that is in Dallas, Texas on Saturday. It's a medium-pitch unscuffed yellow bat run the base tournament, and I read somewhere that the winning team gets $1,000, so if you're in the area and you want to try to win some cash, it's a good one to check out. Next is Golden State Wiffle Ball Tournament number 5 in New York on Sunday. That's medium pitch scuff ball modified bat tournament, and they always air the championship game on Facebook Live, so be sure to check that out. And last but not least, I have the Fast Plastic Southern California Tournament. That's in Upland, California on Saturday. It's fast pitch scuff ball modified bat tournament, and if you're looking to play, get in contact with Pete Mockabee.
All right, Millsy. Sounds good. Sounds like there's a lot going on out there, so appreciate the report there on what's coming up this weekend. Hey, you know, here on the Rock, I don't know if you ever tune in and just listen to some of the music. We play a lot of metal and stuff here. Do you ever check us out?
I actually haven't. It's been on my list of things to do. I just keep forgetting.
Okay, well, you know, we play a lot of metal and like the band Creed.
Okay.
Are you familiar with that band?
I am a little familiar with Creed.
Are you? Okay. Well, I was just wondering.
That's true.
How are you familiar with them? Do you listen to them a lot, or are you a big fan?
I listened to them back in the day. I haven't really listened to them too much recently, but yeah, I used to listen to them.
All right.
So you mentioned the tournament there in Dallas, sponsored and operated by the Fan. I was looking at that tournament pretty closely, and Ben and Skin, some big time former ESPN DJs are running that thing, but I don't know, it's kind of some quirky rules and all down there in Dallas, but I bet that's going to be a huge tournament. So you guys,
yeah, I'll tell you what, I have this thing where I'll get notifications every time someone puts on Twitter the word Wiffle. And pretty much all the emails I've been getting have been about this Dallas tournament. So it seems like it's going to be a pretty big one.
Cool.
Yeah. Look over the rules, guys, before you commit to that, because it's a little bit different. But I know it's just huge publicity for that one. So good one. And then also I want to talk a little bit about the Southern California. Peter Monk will be running his tournaments. Tune up for Fast Plastic. So anybody out west needs to get some good hacks in, get your eye back for hitting some fast pitch. Get out there and get a hold of Pete and play some ball. So
one last thing, Millsy, before we go, we're trying something new out here in the studio. And, we've got a great ad that we run for you every time you come on. But you'll notice if you're watching us live, you'll see above me, I'm pointing up at it, we've got a big monitor up here now, and we've got wiffleballtournaments.com. Find wiffle ball tournaments and leagues here.
Oh, sick. I'm actually not watching live. I'm going to put it on right after I hang up.
All right.
I'm going to put it on my phone.
Yeah, it's a new edition we're trying out. We're going to try to throw some sponsors up on that and see what we can do.
Awesome stuff, guys. I appreciate that.
All right, man. You have a good weekend, okay?
Absolutely. You guys too.
All right. Talk to you later, Millsy. All right. Another good report from Millsy. A lot of stuff going on this weekend. It's going to be a busy, busy weekend, it sounds like.
I think he said 28 tournaments.
28, yes. That's what he said. That's pretty impressive. So,
well, yeah, that's 28. You figure, let's see, if you average, let's say they average 5 teams per tournament, and let's say on average each team, because a lot of these tournaments are open entry, playing like baseball, softball style. So let's just say on average you get 5 guys per team, 5 teams. That's 25. What's 25 times 48? That'd be 20. That'd be 1,200. 1,200 players getting out and playing some ball just this week. That's not too bad. Somehow we need to reach out and talk to all 1,200 of those guys. Anybody knows how to do that, let me know. So I think JB's going to track down Tim Dean. We're going to get Tim on here. He's going to tell us what happened in his fast pitch event this past weekend in Austin. And the winner of that tournament received the auto bid to the Texas Open. So I'm very interested in hearing what Tim has to say.
Well, you don't have to wait much longer because we've got Tim Dean on the line. What's going on, Tim?
I think.
Hello.
Hey, Tim, can you hear us?
Hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
What are you, it's in a drive-through ordering vanilla milkshakes or something?
Chocolate.
Chocolate, okay.
Yeah. I'm actually in my car. I'm on vacation.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I saw your pictures down there.
Yeah, I was at the Astros game. Walk-off home run. Bregman walk-off home run in the ninth.
Really? Who are they playing today?
You know, the powerhouse Blue Jays?
Yeah. That's a very strange matchup. Astros Blue Jays. Man.
It is.
That is very strange.
Especially coming from a National League guy, it still pains me to see the Astros in the American League, but that's okay.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Got a World Series out of it.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. The Astros came out of a very, very tough National League Central and went to the weak American League West, but they dominated though. But,
yeah, they did. They did.
All right. So Tim, tell me about your tournament this past weekend. I'm very curious to know how it all went down.
Well, I will tell you this. Jonathan King did not make it. All the hoopla Jonathan was talking about, he wasn't able to make it down, and that's unfortunate. I would have loved to have seen him come down, and but we had 7 teams in the fast pitch division, and some of the guys were the same teams that played a couple weeks ago, and then also several of the teams that have played in the past. The team that ended up that won 2 weeks ago in our medium pitch was a team called Gonna Whoop Me, and they made it to the championship game again in this fast pitch division. Met up with the team called D3, and that was a 2-man team of Luke Richter and his brother Ryan. Both of them pitched and did really well. For the entire tournament, they only gave up like 6 runs the whole tournament and threw 3 shutouts during the course of it. And They really were unchallenged. One game ended up in a 0-0 tie in pool play, but this young kid, Luke Richter, is pretty good, and he's got some really good stuff, and he's pretty excited about him and his brother. They'll have to pick somebody else because that's just two-man teams are not do real well. Although we've had a two-man team, I think, win it all. Did we not one year?
Yeah, some couple guys. Some guy named Hyde and Nord Hyde, something like that.
Right. That was. I don't think anybody expected them to win it back then. It was just, but in fast pitch, you don't have as many balls being hit, so that third fielder, it usually isn't as big of a factor as one might think sometimes. But they played really well, and I'm excited to see how they might, come up to Frisco and do. But we found out last year the Texas teams didn't do too shabby.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was talking to Jonathan about that. A lot of those younger guys there in Frisco, got a year under their belt, more experience, throwing the ball harder, zoned in on strikes. So expecting to see a lot better things.
Yeah, and I've got another fast pitch coming up at the end of July, and I already know some other teams that have expressed interest in coming. They just couldn't make it this time around, but it was actually one of the teams that's probably going to play this next time is a team that, and I don't remember the name of the team, but they were one of our Austin reps several years ago, back when Fast Plastic came to Cedar Park. So I'm excited to see how they'll do now. But it was a really good tournament, and I'm looking forward to more. We're starting to grow it back down here again in Austin. We sort of took a hiatus off like Fast Plastic did after that last national tournament down here, and now I've got to get it rebuilt down here in Austin, and we're well on our way of doing that.
Yep, that's great news. So I appreciate you taking the time, Tim, on your precious vacation to talk to us.
Right. Well, I'm in a good mood. The Astros wanted to walk off. I got to be there for that, and so pretty excited. And thanks for letting me call in.
Yeah, one last thing I'll bring up is that if you remember last year when we were in Frisco, we were doing the live draw. It was a pretty electric atmosphere, not like it used to be way back in the heyday, but still the Astros and the Yankees were playing playoff games, and we were all in that place. That was pretty cool, man. So hopefully we're going to have. Yeah.
I do remember them. Hopefully the Astros will make the playoffs again and create that atmosphere. But it was the Yankees and Astros that created that, because there were a lot of guys that were, there that were from up in the Northeast, that were big Yankees fans. And then being in Texas, even though we were in Ranger territory, there were quite a few Astro fans. So you're right. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah. All right, man. Have a good rest of your vacation, and I'll be checking back with you soon.
All right. Sounds great. Talk to you later.
All right.
All right. Tim Dean there on vacation. Can't beat that. That's what I need, is a vacation.
Yeah, I do too. There's a picture of some action down there in Cedar Park.
Yeah.
And what are they playing in a blizzard?
That's what it looks like on the Facebook page there.
Yeah.
But it's actually a decent picture. So
we're in experimental mode tonight, guys.
Yeah, just bear with us.
Going to get this thing worked out, and it's going to be awesome.
It'll be pretty cool. It'll show some live video up there and talk about it. Get some sponsorship up there. All kinds of cool stuff going to be going on with that. So just hang in there. It's going to be pretty sweet when we get it all worked out.
Yep. You got any spots or anything we need to drop in?
Yeah, we can probably take a quick break, and we'll be right back here on the Fast Plastic Radio Network.
You're listening to the Fast Plastic Radio Network. Fast Plastic Radio Network.
Best way to tell the world about your upcoming tournament is Fast Plastic Radio and WiffleBallTournaments.com. WiffleBallTournaments.com is here to help you locate tournaments all over the nation and find the ones closest to home. If you know of any tournaments that we don't have listed, let us know. We're here to help everyone, players and directors alike. Spread the word, WiffleBallTournaments.com. You can contact WiffleBallTournaments.com, W2BWiffle@gmail.com, WiffleBallTournaments.com.
Hey, everybody, DP here. Tune in Sundays to the West Coast Wiffle Report live on Blog Talk Radio as we chronicle all things wiffle ball.
Burl's Chainsaw Shop. Tired of your mama's steak knives? Use a chainsaw by Burl for all your ball stuffing needs. It's faster.
Fast Plastic Radio Network. It's about the game.
It is definitely about the game. And we're back here on the Fast Plastic Radio Network. How's it going out there tonight? The chat board's a little quiet over there. I don't know what's up with that. A little different.
Not sure, but you ran a spot there for DP in the West Coast Wiffle Report. He did have a show up last few days ago.
Right.
Sunday, I think.
Yeah.
Actually, you had me on there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we're talking about the some controversy that arose in a past tournament, and it's kind of interesting to listen. So,
all right,
be sure to get over there, West Coast Wiffle Report.
Yeah, I'll be sure and check it out. He's got a pretty good show going there. All right, well, I guess we'll get our next caller on.
Tim Cook.
Yes, Tim Cook.
Coming in from Baltimore, Maryland. Tim tries to do a weekly spot here on the show, talking about some hot topics. Last week, he had something come up last minute, didn't make it on, so he's back this week. Kind of excited to hear what he has to say. I have no idea either, so strap yourself in, guys, and let's get ready for Tim Cook.
Absolutely. Let's get ready for Tim. How you doing there, Tim?
I'm good. How are you, JB and Billy?
Doing pretty good.
Great. Thanks for coming on, as always.
Yep, thank you for having me. So what I want to talk about tonight is a companion piece, or the next step to what I talked about 2 weeks ago. So one of my favorite things since I started playing and organizing tournaments in 1998 has been finding new players and teams. I think we all know it's really important to the growth and the sustainability of the game to get a steady influx of new players. It's, pretty simple. No new players equal no new growth. So tonight I want to talk about a few things. I want to talk about the challenges the game faces without new players, potential ways that we can get these players, and the pros and cons of specifically targeting the best players across the country. So finding new players has always been an issue for wiffle ball. And one of the reasons is wiffle ball's always had a stigma. And it's an unfair one, but it's still a stigma. We've heard it all before. Isn't that a kid's game? Or, you're playing what this weekend? And then you tell whatever jackass is, ragging on you, hey, step in the boxes, especially if you're a pitcher, and try to hit one of these. So fighting that stigma has been, a little bit easier over time, especially now that, there's consumer level video technology that, can allow games from anywhere and anytime to be posted online. I would have killed to have had a smartphone in 1999. So on one hand, you got the internet making it easier than ever to communicate and learn about all the leagues and tournaments around the country. But the difference between today and back then was exposure. It was much easier to stand out on the internet back in 1998. So if you've searched wiffle ball on YouTube anytime recently, you'll see a lot of different results. You can see blitzball, you see tennis ball, you see pickleball, other offshoots of baseball, and then you still get some real wiffle ball videos. This is a Wiffle Corporation issue. They don't care about branding. They never have, most likely never will, but it's still an issue for us. So if a potential player is searching for wiffle ball videos on YouTube and comes across blitzball, that's a problem. The blitzball might be easier to pitch for this potential player, or it may intrigue them more. It's, different color, it's a little bit bigger, it looks a little bit more like a softball, and at the same time, it can also offer, some of the same pitch selections that a wiffle ball can. And, all of a sudden, that potential player may be lost due to the Wiffle Corporation's piss poor marketing. So, outside of the ideal solution, which is creating a new ball from scratch, there's just, it's a frustrating thing. And, the idea of creating a new ball is just unrealistic from a development level and from a money perspective. So, I think in general, the number of players that we've lost because of the poor job of marketing from the Wiffle Corporation isn't too much. But we can't afford to lose any single potential good player. Today, there's no developmental system for potential players. From 1997 to 2009, Wiffle Up was an organization that supplied an unofficial player feeder system for the USPPGA and Fast Plastic. I can name numerous top-level players who got their start in Wiffle Up. Nick Schaefer was discovered by Tom LaCasio at a Wiffle Up event. Ryan Wood got his wiffle ball career started in Wiffle Up. I mean, Wood dominated up there for a couple years. Doom and their myriad of players throughout the year were all big Wiffle Up guys who could also play the Fast Plastic version of the game. So Wiffle Up had some of the advantages in the late 90s and early 2000s for attracting new players that we didn't have back then and that we don't have today. Michael Lessie ran the organization as a money-making venture, and he was able to set aside money for a marketing budget, and he used that to promote the tournaments on modern rock stations in the big cities up and down the northeastern region of the U.S. The thing is, the good players from Wiffle Up always eventually found their way to the USPPGA and Fast Plastic. Problem is, today there's no Wiffle Up. There's no feeder system. Just think about this. Think about how hard it is for Major League Baseball teams to develop players, especially pitchers. Think about all the resources they have. Think of all of the luxuries they have. We have none of that, and it puts us at a big disadvantage. And, when I've been thinking over the last couple of weeks, the thought occurred to me of the goal of crowning a national champion is a little bit fruitless if there's not a steady drip of new young talent playing the game and getting sucked into it like the drug that we all have for, the game of wiffle ball. Major League Baseball's young player revolution, that represents this sentiment. Guys aren't getting contracts or throwing 89 to 90 anymore, and batters who think, hitting to contact and spraying the ball around on the ground is the way to hit instead of hitting line drives are being left in the past. So historically in wiffle, more tournaments equaled more teams, which usually leads to new, diverse experiences on the field. A lack of the overall events, though, it leads to not finding the players and teams who may not be top-flight caliber players in their first couple of years, but with experience and hard work, those guys can get to the next level. I've seen it happen with teams at events that I've run over the past 20 years, and I have had a first-hand experience of seeing it with my team, the Stompers. For anyone who's new to Fast Plastic or hasn't heard, my original team was the Stompers that we founded back in 1998. It was a team of two 16-year-olds and two 14-year-olds. We played as much as possible from 98 to 2001. By the end of the 2001 season, when we started losing almost exclusively 1-0 games to the best teams, we knew we were on the brink of success. 2002, we were the #1 team in the country for a few weeks at the midpoint of the 2002 season. We ended up finishing 6th that year in the country overall. We finished 3rd in the country in 2003, a botched sacrifice fly defensive play away from a round-robin rematch against the eventual tournament champions, who we had already beaten round-robin 6-1. In 2004, we had to play in almost every single Fast Plastic event in the Northeast because we needed every FP3 point we could get to roll the dice one more time in Texas. Because once you're down there, you never know what's going to happen. So I say all of this not as a bragging, but I say it because there isn't a system for a team like the 1998 to 2001 Stompers to begin to develop. Without that avenue to play multiple times in the summer, today we're left with no, true 4-man, teams that are, playing regularly together. We've got no system to develop a great young talent. Like I mentioned a few weeks ago, your Jordan Robleses, your Connor Youngs, your Chris Garnos, they are the exception, not the rule. One of our new guys in MAW, through no fault of his own, just look at how long it took Blake Hoffman to start playing regularly. He has the stuff that would play anywhere. I'm just glad we were finally able to get him out onto the field, but it shouldn't have taken that long. And that's not on him, that's on the organizers. So what we have now is a group of players, a really good group of players, no doubt, but a system without a structure to keep producing new players to replace the guys who either get burned out or decide to have a family or put wiffle ball aside for personal or professional reasons. And the lack of traditional teams made it, really hard to see, who's the best team these days? At our website, under the drop, we named a team of the year for 2017. And it was kind of controversial. And this kind of brought me back to 1999 when there was no official recognized national championship. The NJWA Summer Showdown was the default, but it really wasn't. Fast Plastic, the magazine, named In the Box as the 1999 Team of the Year. They didn't have close to a performance that Billy Owens had at the Summer Showdown that year, where he went through a 9-game losers bracket to come all the way back and clinch that tournament. But what In the Box did and why they won the Fast Plastic Team of the Year that year is because they played and they won a lot. They played in everything. Tom Locascio, he won a competitive 15-team Shamokin, Pennsylvania tournament in 1999 as a one-man team. It was a little controversial last year when we named when the drop at Mid-Atlantic Wiffle named the Giants from the Palisades Wiffle League as the best fast pitch team of 2017. And, I've heard the question before. How can a team that only played in Palisades be the best team in the country? And, again, it's pretty simple. They played the best teams with the best players week in, week out, and came out on top. So, I'm throwing all this out here. So what's the answer? Is one qualifying tournament in each region of the country the answer to, get back to a real national championship? My thought is that may filter out the best teams going down to Texas, but it also seems a little short-sighted in helping the game grow and prosper long-term. There's a lot of talk last year about the NWLA and the $10,000 purse at the Texas Open. Only one team ended up taking Fast Plastic up on that offer, but Freaky Franchise was already signed up before that announcement was made. So, there's also a stigma out there, not just with wiffle ball, but with different types of play. So in running Mid-Atlantic Wiffle, I try to keep my ear to the ground and, I research everything, watch as much video as possible. And I reached out to a few of the fast pitch NWLA leagues in the Mid-Atlantic area. I didn't really care about the running, didn't care about the yellow bats. I cared about the pitching. And if they could pitch, those are the guys I wanted. So I reached out to the Ridley Park League. They're located just outside of Philadelphia, and they came out to our May tournament. Came down, went 2-2, and they loved it. And they got hooked. And that's the really important part. They got hooked. So hooked that they brought 2 teams out for our June tournament. They brought 12 players, 3 of which didn't play, they just came to watch 2 weeks ago. And despite having some, hard luck results, they showed that they can hang with anyone. Sean Bingnier, he took the mound for Ridley Park against Cloud9 in the first game of the day a few weekends ago. He took a 4-2 total bases lead into the extra innings before, Sean Steffi, a veteran, picked up his team with a home run. It's never fun to lose, but what I was most impressed about with the Ridley guys is their enthusiasm. They're mostly late high school, early college guys who love playing and they love the game. They reminded me of me when I broke into wiffle ball, when Mong talked on the phone with Jerome Coyle, Mike Palanzar, and Billy provided me with that contagious enthusiasm before I even stepped out onto the field. And I felt it with those guys. And maybe the most important part of this is, has the team stayed around for the semifinals and finals that day? I think that speaks volumes to me about these guys. And I say all of this because of the NWLA, stigma, just like the wiffle ball stigma in general, they could have easily been ignored, even if it was unintentional. They won't be ignored anymore, which is, half the battle. And I really don't think we're in the position to not seek out talented players regardless of the style they play. That's looking at the short game, and I believe that the solution is to look at the long game. So that's what I've got this week, something to stew on and think about, and hit me with any feedback. I'm always open to hearing from any players and figuring out, hey, what's the best way to approach this and approach that, and how do we get these guys who we know are playing somewhere but just haven't reached our type of game yet.
So very well said. A question just for your opinion on this, Tim. So, you were speaking a lot of the early Stompers teams, 98 through 2003, 2004. If we would have had a $10,000 purse payout to a single team back then, wouldn't you think that the tournaments would have had 25 to 45 teams entering every single time trying to win that money? Or, at least an escalated higher number than what normally would appear.
Yep. I fully think that, there would have been a lot more teams that would have quickly signed up for that. I look back and, by 2002, we would have signed up for anything. But even when we, were still growing and still, trying to get better by just going out as much as possible, we, I think we would have still tried to make that. The thing is, it's a different landscape today. And that's one of the things that I'm still trying to wrap my head around and figure out, why do we think that there would have been, a lot more teams back in the late 90s with that same purse, which I think is completely true. Yet today we can't, replicate that. And I think that kind of gets to the core of, not necessarily a problem, but a longer term, how do we keep this sustainable and how do we keep filtering people in? And, one of the great things about, what you're doing here on the radio is, when Millsy comes on every week and reads off those lists of tournaments, his tournament website is so valuable. I know we've used it for the last couple of years just to find anything. But even with the number of tournaments he listed, this weekend, it's still very, very different from the late 90s and the early 2000s, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. It seems to me like it's very segregated. Is that the right word? Like,
Yeah, I think that's the right word.
you know, like there's very, very distinct boundaries between these styles of play. Whereas back 15, 20 years ago, whenever it was just a tournament, and you looked at, okay, who are the guys going to play, and is there a payout? And that's how you made your decision. You know, pretty much that was the first two aspects that you looked at, and then you went and played. But now it's like it's just very, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's just strange, and it's very foreign to me. And one word that I've heard come up quite a few times over the last, I would say 3-4 weeks, is the labeling of the players that like to play at Mid-Atlantic level, Palisades level, Fast Plastic level is testosterone driven, like these guys that can't control their emotions. That's so far from the truth, but somehow the fast pitch game has received that stigmatism, you know, like what you were talking about, and that's not correct.
No. In fact, I mean, one of the things that, you know, I'm all for on the field is getting excited, you know, doing bat flips and stuff. People who get pissed off about that in, you know, Major League Baseball, they're not having any fun. There's no right way to, you know, celebrate after a home run. And, you know, I think that on the field intensity adds to the game. Now, if you take it off the field, you know, after the game's over, you know, that's another thing. But when the game's going on, yeah, I agree with you. There's nothing wrong with having that, I don't know, machoism, you know, just, hey, I'm here, I'm ready to play, you know, let's go.
Right. And nobody, you know, some of these guys are fired up. You know, you got a guy that says he's the best hitter in the country, and if you're a pitcher and you strike him out, you feel, you know, great. There's some emotion there. But, you know, immediately after the game, you're over there talking to the guy, shaking his hand, saying, so, you know, you're friends, you're buddies, whatever. You're one of the same. And it's not, you know, cutthroat like what you would run into, say, in some of these beer league softball tournaments or league games that I used to do way back a long time ago. But anyway, I just think that we need to get over that whole, you know, we're too segregated.
Yeah, I can, you know, I completely agree about that. You know, the best way to get revenge after you strike out is to hit a home run next time you're up against that same pitcher. You know, same thing on the mound. Let up a dinger, go strike that guy out next time, and he can't say anything.
Yeah, well, very well done, Tim. That was a good one. We're going to have a couple things here that talked about later on. I'm going to talk a little bit about the old Stompers team, and then talking about guys that play with a lot of emotion. Connor Young coming on. He's a fiery young dude, right? You know him.
He is. He's Soup is having a stretch of play this spring into the summer that's pretty high quality.
Yep, indeed. So, JB, anything for Tim?
I don't think so. I think it was a good editorial there.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you guys very much. I just want to plug one thing.
Absolutely.
Anybody who thinks that they are one of the best players in the game, come to the Mid-Atlantic site sometime on Sunday. We think we'll have an article and a I don't want to tease it too much. We'll have something that you'll be very, very interested in. So that'll be up Sunday at the drop at midatlanticwiffle.com.
Great. Right now, I don't know if you can see it, Tim, or not. I know we're still experimental mode, but I've got a huge banner ad for Mid-Atlantic Wiffle up in the studio on our new 55-inch LED just above JB. He's getting a suntan from the screen right now.
No, my ADHD means that I need to be able to focus on talking to you guys. So I am not watching the live broadcast right now, but that's I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you coming on the show, and as always, doing what you guys do for the sport. MidAtlanticWiffle.com, guys. Get over there and check it out, and get entered in one of his upcoming tournaments. When's the next one, Tim?
Next one's July 14th in York. Then we'll be back in York on August 4th, and then we'll be out in the Pittsburgh area August 18th before we get to the playoff on September 8th, where we're looking at a $2,000 plus cash prize for the winner of the Mid-Atlantic football season.
Well, there you go. That's a good payout. Real good payout.
Yeah, definitely. I need to be closer to the Mid-Atlantic area. That's for sure. So,
all right. Tim, thanks for calling, and we'll talk to you on the next episode, okay?
Yep. Thank you guys for having me. Have a good one.
You too, man. All right. If you just tuned in, make sure you go to the MidAtlanticWiffle.com on Sunday. Big announcements, he said, it's going to be made.
Sunday. JB,
Absolutely.
We have a drop for that anywhere?
We don't, but I can probably come up with one really easy. So, all right, we're a little bit ahead of schedule, so we're going to take some time here, and we're going to pay some bills. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Fast Plastic Radio Network. Fast Plastic Radio Network.
Camacho's Kazoos. Call Camacho's today and learn the kazoo. 1-800-2-KAZOO. Fast Plastic is back. The 2018 Texas Open in Frisco, Texas. Saturday, October 6th, Columbus Day weekend. Battle through 24 of the hardest hitting teams to take home the most coveted prize in the history of the sport. Fast Plastic. We're back bigger and better. $10,000 in the national championship. Register now. www.fastplasticnct.com. Fast Plastic. It's about the game.
Now the pitch. It's a high drive, deep right center, way back. Might be out of here. It's off the wall. One run is in. 2 runs are in. A third man scores.
Do you want to hit like a pro? Big Flies, changing the way you play one bat at a time. Handmade, lightweight wood bats, custom designed to individual orders in Chico, California. You can reach Big Flies through Babs Big Flies on Facebook Messenger or simply by calling Kevin 530-513-7371. Big Flies, changing the way you play one bat at a time.
This is Ed Packer, defending Texas Open champion, and you're listening to 93.5 WROC The Rock, home of Fast Plastic Radio.
Most definitely is the home of Fast Plastic Radio. Welcome to the show.
Definitely welcome to the show. A while ago, I was looking over there. Well, Tim Cook was on, JB. I was watching, looked over at your screen, and I almost felt like I was getting hypnotized. What the heck was that? Looked like some kind of a Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, it was. It was a Rodney Dangerfield holding a Miller Lite bottle with his picture. He was pointing to it, and they just kept zooming in and zooming in and zooming in. It was like picture in a picture and a picture and a picture and a picture type thing. I was mesmerized too.
I was like, wow. I had to look away. I was getting so distracted by that.
So we're still a little bit ahead of schedule here, so I want to take the time just to bring up that next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday
is the 4th of July.
The 4th?
Yes, the 4th.
Okay.
May the 4th be with you. And of course, being the 4th of July and our independence, we're not going to have a show, are we?
I think it's been decided that no show next week, guys. Vacation time, just like Tim Dean.
So what you're telling me is that
So you're going to tell me that you don't have no black cats, no Roman candles, or screaming Mimis?
No.
Oh, come on, man. You don't got no lady fingers, buzz buttles, snicker bombs, church burners, finger blasters, gut busters, zippity doo-dahs, or crap flappers?
No, I don't.
You're going to stand there owning a fireworks stand and tell me you don't have no whistling bungholes, no spleen splitters, whisker biscuits, honky lighters, Husker do's, Husker don'ts, cherry bombs, nipsidazers, with or without the scooter stick, or one single whistling kitty chaser?
No. Because snakes and sparklers are the only ones I like.
So, that means we're going to be out playing with fireworks next Wednesday.
I'll be visiting a couple of my old buddies, Stumpy and Four Fingers.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we usually get together on the 4th and hang out.
How are they doing?
Pretty good. They're excited
good
about this
deal.
year's 4th.
Good deal.
Yeah. Man, see, I had something there I was going to ask you about, and I've already forgotten.
Well, we will be back, though, the following Wednesday after the 4th, and I'll probably make that same announcement again. Just want to let that out because we're going to celebrate our country's Independence Day. So,
yeah, yes, indeed. Man, JB,
I stumped you.
I just cannot. I can't remember things like I used to.
Getting forgetful. Well, currently right now going on in Texas is the Texas Wiffle Ball League, the Frisco Braves versus the Cosby Show. Now, earlier in the evening, the Cosby Show was playing D-Generation X, so I'm guessing that Cosby Show beat them, and they've moved on to the next bracket.
That Cosby Show had a kid on the team that could throw very well.
Really?
He played in the Open last year, and he was dealing.
So if you want to see some good wiffle ball, check them out. It's the Wiffle Ball League. They're Facebook Live right now. I'm sure you can catch it afterwards and view the game. They've got a decent game going.
Yeah, it's a big weekend, big Sunday at Palisades, WBL. It's a pretty good game of the week matchup.
Who was playing in that? Was that the one we were running last week for them?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It's the White Sox Expos.
That's right.
Dan Virginia Ham Whitner. Sorry, I always get it wrong.
Always starting to be like me.
Won the game of the week. It was quite a pitching performance.
Good deal.
They're at the part of the season there in Palisades where it's a lot of big matchups, big game pitching performances coming through. The line on that game was 1.5, and I think the final score was 2-0, so it was right on.
That's good. That's real good.
Yep.
I tell you what, we're still a little early, but I think I'm going to go ahead and see if we can get our next caller on the line here, okay?
All right, why don't you do that? Sounds like a plan. Let's see, guys, the Fast Plastic Texas Open. Can't forget about that. Coming up, Columbus Day weekend, October 6th is a Saturday. Got a big announcement coming up later in the show for that. Be sure you're listening. It's very important. But you've got, 3 days left to get your team registered for the $100 early bird entry fee. Midnight, June 30th, it jumps up to $151, I believe. So
$151, you don't want to have to pay that.
No, you sure don't, man. So take advantage of it. We've got 14 teams in. Honestly, there might be more. I haven't even checked since last week's show.
Gotcha. All right, well, we've got Connor Young on the line. What's going on, Connor?
Hey, not much, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Glad to have you.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on, Connor. This is Bill. How you doing?
Good, Bill. Good.
Great. So I was just talking a little bit about Palisades last Sunday, and I looked over your line, your pitching line, quite astounding, I have to say. I want to talk to you a little bit about that later on in the interview here. But first thing, I guess I want to ask you, tell us where you're located.
I am located in the Garden State. I'm in Medford, New Jersey, the southern part of New Jersey. I'm about 30 minutes from Philadelphia.
Okay, so you're right there in the middle of all of it then. You don't have too far to go to get to play ball pretty much in any direction, right?
Exactly. I'm literally in the perfect spot. I'm 2 hours from Palisades and about 2 hours and 15 minutes from Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah, so you're playing quite a bit, playing Palisades, Mid-Atlantic, some Golden Stick, whatever pops up, you seem like you seem to find it. What is it, about the fast pitch game that pulls you in?
Billy, it's really fast pitch really fills in that competitive void for me, that pitcher versus batter thing. That's big for me. In my opinion, it's the closest thing to playing baseball. Like I quit baseball junior year, and since then, wiffle ball has really filled that void. Well, since I was 12, it's filled that void for the most part. It's just I never got into softball. It's just I'd rather have someone try and burn me with 85 mile per hour gas than trying to hit a grapefruit in a one pitch league. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, definitely. When did you play in your first tournament?
I just turned 12, actually. It was the Summer Showdown, Palingzar's tournament.
No kidding. You remember the year?
Yep, I want to say it was 2009, 2008.
Okay. Wow, yeah. So that would have been a great place to take in a first tournament. Definitely. Did you get to play on Pat Pone, or was it already washed out by then?
No, they had switched over to the baseball fields at Caldwaller by then.
Okay.
Because they had like 70 teams there when we were there. It was absurd.
So you played in Summer Showdown. I mentioned you played in Palisades, Mid-Atlantic, Golden Stick. What do you think's been your biggest game to date?
I would have to say when we were playing down in Georgia, we played a couple big games. We played Doom in the Elite Eight of the Open for fast pitch when Golden Stick was running it. We played Doom in the Elite Eight. We beat them on a walk-off home run. And then we ended up playing Steffi and Lanigan later on in the Final Four, and we ended up losing 2-1 in the fifth inning. So that was another crazy game.
Yeah, did you say that was in Savannah, Georgia?
Yeah, that was in Savannah. That was the 2013 Open.
Okay. So you're still a pretty young dude then, right? Back in those days? Or?
Yeah. Yeah, I was 17, 18. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. And what was your pitching duties then? Were you the guy carrying the load, or did you share a lot of the responsibility with others? Or
I've usually been the ace for my team most years. That year, actually, I ended up throwing not until the Elite Eight, that tournament. And then when we ended up facing State of Mind, James Stein actually threw because he just matched up with them better all year. I hadn't had much luck against that lineup. They were very lefty heavy with Jay and Venti. So it was just a tough lineup to pitch to. We felt more comfortable with Stein throwing that one.
Well, you got your team registered for the Texas Open last week or a couple weeks ago, which is really good. The ERL, Earl, is that what you go by, Earl?
Yes, Earl. Yep.
So tell me about that team name. Where did that come from?
It's a bunch of. There's a few different reasons. It comes from an old friend of ours, Earl. It comes from it's a show also that we used to all watch. My Name is Earl. It's some comedy show. So
Okay.
It's a bunch of dumb reasons. We just kind of threw it together. And I'm like, yeah, this works for us. We just kind of ran with it.
Yeah. And you got some pretty good players on your team coming down to Texas. Do you want to tell us a little bit about who they are, what they can do, what guys can expect?
Yeah, so it's going to be myself from Earl, obviously, and then Dan Potter's going to fill in for us.
plays with the Yaks with Shirey. He's definitely a hitter eager to prove himself at the level. He's a great Mid-Atlantic hitter. He's taken myself deep, a few other really good pitchers, and just hasn't been to I don't know if he's been in Nationals yet back in the day, but he's definitely eager to get back there. And then we got Chris Sarnowitzki, Red. He'll be playing for us also, and he's been having the best year of his career actually for the Stompers. Currently, he's killing it on the mound, and he's hitting the hell out of the ball. So we're excited to have him on too. And I'm sure you've heard of Blake Hoffman. He's the young lefty we have from Ohio. He's actually only 19, 20 years old, but he's definitely excited to get out there and prove what he's got.
Yeah, that's a very well-rounded team. You've got a lot of innings and arms there. You've got some great hitters. Dan Potter, he's one of the best hitters I've ever seen. I think he has played in Texas before, way back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. He's also a phenomenal fielder, too, arguably the best I've seen.
So that's kind of like a Mid-Atlantic all-star squad almost.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that's cool. That's good to hear. A lot of guys going to be gunning for you now, so be ready.
Let's hope so. Good.
So while we're still on Mid-Atlantic, so what's your odds of winning, taking it all down, the Mid-Atlantic Championship this year?
Well, we're not going to have Dan Whitener for the playoffs, unfortunately, so that definitely puts a hole in our sails. But it'll still be myself, Gerard, Blake, and my friend Joe who will be attending the playoffs. So I think we still match up pretty well with the Stompers. I think that's who we could end up seeing late in the day in the finals. So we'll see. That's going to be an exciting series with 4 really, really good arms pitching in that. So that's going to be a good one to watch.
Yeah, hopefully that'll be video aired somewhere where guys can take some time and watch that. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Tim and Paul do a great job with all that, so I'm sure they will, as always.
So what do you think then? You're saying that between your team, Earl and Stompers, it's a pick'em 50-50, or you think you have a slight edge? I mean, you got to be, come on, you like to live on the edge there. What do you think?
You really want to get an answer? I don't know. I mean, last year they ended up getting us in the finals, but I think with our depth that we have this year, we definitely might have a little bit of an edge. It's really just going to come down to if we can get the big hits this year. I definitely feel a lot more confident on the mound myself, so I think it's going to be definitely at least a better series, if not a totally different story this time.
Yeah.
No disrespect to anyone that we'd be playing, because they're a great team. It can really go either way, though.
Yeah, well-rounded for sure. Palisades WBL performance last Sunday was phenomenal. It wasn't video, it wasn't out there on Facebook Live where you could watch it, but just looking at the line, it's pretty amazing. I know earlier in the season, week 4, your team in Palisades is the Brewers, and you guys faced off against the Cardinals. Same pitching matchup from week 4 occurred this past Sunday. It was you versus D-Weg, Dave Wegerson. And you took a hit, pretty good thumping on that first game. You gave up, I'm looking at your line, you gave up 7 hits, 4 runs, a home run, and you lost 4-0. So this past Sunday, you got a rematch, and you got some revenge. So my question is, was that previous loss on your mind during this past Sunday's game?
That first time we faced them around, I didn't feel like I was hitting all my spots. They were seeing me really well too. They were ready to hit me. They came very ready to play that day. And Jimmy Cole definitely was swinging, getting his money's worth on attacks all day. So this time around, though, I was finally able to, keep the ball outside, keep it low against Norris, D-Weg, and the big bats that they have. And, the ball was just moving perfectly that day. I was able to locate, mix it up, throw all my pitches effectively. And when I can do that, I feel like I'm definitely twice as tough to hit when I'm just throwing 1 or 2 pitches where I need to, rather than then I was throwing, 5, 6, 7 different pitches for strikes. So it felt really good.
Yeah, and for anybody that missed it and haven't noticed, Connor pitched a perfect game with 12 strikeouts. That's 0 hits.
I was a no-hitter.
No walks, right?
No, there was 1 walk.
Oh, well, I see on the line, though, it's 0, so we'll have to get on Brett about stats.
No, never mind. Maybe we'll leave it like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll take that when I can get it.
But I think it was it a dueling no hitter, or did you guys got one hit off of Wooderson? But
so Gerard had a clean single off of Dave, and that actually ended up being the difference because we each walked one guy, and then Gerard hit a single.
Yeah, so I don't know, if you take any special notes on games like that, but what you should do, if you haven't already, you should take that ball when you throw that perfect game, get you a Sharpie, write the game, the outcome of that game, and stick that thing in a box somewhere. And 20 years from now, you can go back and look at it and say, oh, yeah, I remember that. Otherwise, you'll forget all about it. So
I log all my games in a notebook regardless. So I haven't actually been able to keep the whips I use for each game, but I have logs of each game, how they all go, what went down, stats for them. So I have, keep a pretty good track of everything.
So what did Dave D-Weg have working for him? Because he threw a hell of a game as well. I mean, was he bringing it, throwing, gas? What was working for him?
Dave's very tough. It doesn't seem like he throws a lot of pitches, but his screwball, he technically has two different kinds. He has one that bites a ton and that I will swing at every time, apparently. And then he has one that just cuts a little bit that he just pounds the inside against me, and I can't hit that either. He was throwing hard. He was hitting spots. He was effectively wild in a way, I would say, which makes it really tough when a guy's throwing that hard. You can't pin where he's going to throw the ball. So he was tough. He's tough every time. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up going on a nice streak of wins here on the mound. He's starting to heat up, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear. He's a pretty good guy. I got to face him down in Texas, and we had a pretty good game. There's a lot of home runs in that one, though. But so before I get into my next question I have logged here, I'm curious. How many innings you think you're going to end up playing over the course of this summer? You have any idea?
Like playing all together, or pitching?
Yeah, just all together playing, if you had to take a wild guess.
So 20 games in Palisades, 5 in Mid-Atlantic, close to 200, 300 maybe all summer. I don't know, that's just a rough estimate. I could be totally off there, but combining a few random tournaments I'll play August, July, here and there in New Jersey, probably about close to 300.
So do you do anything to keep your arm in shape, practice ever, or is it just, tournament day, pick up the ball and go? What do you do?
I'll throw the baseball here and there on off weeks just to stay loose and stay in shape. And I do a lot of band work every other day almost, or once or twice a week just to keep me loose and keep me not too tight.
Yeah, because
I'm ready to go by the time it is go time.
In this day and age, that's a lot of gameplay. Like when Tim was on earlier, we were talking about the old days. That was, if you were a touring pro or a hardcore player like what you currently are, that was about average for the guys back then. 200, 300 innings over the course of the summer. Yeah. And you really had to take care of your arm, your body, and legs. And so I'm just curious, what it's like for you. But Palisades is going pretty good for you so far. This is your rookie year, right?
Correct.
What do you think about the league overall?
I'm hooked. It's awesome. It's a great group of guys. The fields are great, and the talent there is just unreal. Every game you're playing, it's like a playoff feel almost. You're playing a top pitcher, so it's unreal. I can't really even describe it. It's just definitely worth a 2-hour drive to play 2 games every other week. I would not even second guess it.
So when you find out that you're going to be on the game of the week, you got the cameras on you, what's that do for you? I mean, are you nervous? You get camera shy?
I honestly had forgotten about it until I rolled up to the fields that day. And then they were setting it up, and I saw Kenny and Phil start doing the pregame, and I was like, oh, wow, that's right. But I don't know. It didn't have much effect on me. I was really just trying to focus on at least stealing a game or two from Padres because we knew they were shorthanded. So I tried to, hit my spots, do my thing out there, not pay attention to the side noise too much because I'm already freaking out enough myself. So yeah. I don't need to be listening to anyone on the side.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to Brett a little bit about some of the things that go on, on the sidelines and all that. It's pretty interesting stuff. So your team, like I said earlier, the Brewers, you guys, what, 6-3 right now, or 6-4?
We're actually 6-6 now. We're right at the
6-6.
500 mark, which I'll take at this point in the season, especially in Palisades.
Yeah, I mean, that's not too bad. So do you think?
No, we're right in the hunt.
Yeah, you are. Where do you see your team ending up? Are you going to make a run? You think you can make it to the championship? Are the Giants still the team to beat?
In my opinion, the Giants, with Bush playing as well, they're definitely still the team to beat. I can definitely see us squeaking in, though, no doubt. I think we are going to make it to the playoffs, and I think at that point it really just comes down to getting hot at the right time. Like, if we can go into that playoffs real hot and, just come up with the big hits, we can definitely make some noise, maybe ruin someone's day.
So you have the possibility to face some of these good hitters, like 3 games, so you're possibly maybe 5 at-bats per game, 15 to 20 at bats is what a guy's going to face off against you possibly. How do you mix it up? How do you stay on top of them seeing a guy so often?
Sometimes I have to, be different, use different pitches more. And if I'm playing a team 2 different times, like I'll throw the unscuffed ball twice as much in the second game just to, change my style up a little bit. I'll pitch guys different spots the next game. It's tough, definitely, because these guys catch on quick, guys, especially guys like Norris D-Weg, who've seen me twice already this year. I definitely had to mix it up against them this third time around.
Yep, you definitely got to do that in this day and age. So outside of the field, especially when we're doing the show, JB monitors the chat going on over there, and you're always very outspoken. You think that comes from you being a Jersey kid?
Yeah, I'd say that's a little bit of the Jersey coming out of me, no doubt. That's something I just can't help.
Is there one thing that really sets you off, that gets you going over any other things?
It's just the whole NWLA thing, Palisades thing. It's just ridiculous. I mean, Brett kind of put it all, in perspective when he brought up the stats. So it's an argument that I'm kind of over at this point. But at this point, if they want to prove themselves, they just kind of need to come out and show they can play, because they can use the same ball and they can use a bigger bat that they've used. So it's still fair game in my opinion.
Yeah, so Tim was on. We were talking a little bit about the, the fast pitch style game. We're accused of being, testosterone-driven egomaniacs. What do you have to say about that? I was saying that, we're excited to play other great players. If you win or lose, whatever, after it's all over, we still are sportsmen, and we talk and we're buddies and move on, right? What about you? What's your approach to that?
I mean, I'd say I'm friends with everyone I've pretty much played against. I don't really have problems like that with anyone off the field. I played against guys who are yelling like myself while they're playing the whole game. And as soon as it's over, we're chatting it up, talking about tournaments, whatever, like other stuff, off the field stuff. So it's never anything personal. It's always just, that testosterone going. There's 50 guys, hanging out at one big wiffle ball field playing a big tournament. So it's like, what do you expect? You get a bunch of guys together to compete. That's what's going to happen. Especially with money on the line, bragging rights. Yeah. This is how it is. I have no problem with it. If anything, that makes me want to play just that much more. I wouldn't want to play against a bunch of people who are just quiet the whole time or just aren't into it or aren't trying to beat me and take me down. Everyone should want a target on their back in a way.
Yeah, that's well said. I tend to agree with you on that. That's you get a bunch of guys competing against each other, 50, 75, 100 guys. What do you expect? I think I'm gonna
exactly.
I'm gonna put that in writing somewhere and have that posted around. I like that. All right.
I mean, that's what you should be looking for if you're trying to play, top level, national level of anything. That's how it's gonna be.
Yeah. Let's move on now. Let's move on to Texas. All right, Texas Open, as I mentioned, is coming up. Big tournament. Teams coming in from all over the country. Some legendary players, some new players, young kids learning the game. last year you tried like hell to get down there. It didn't happen. You kind of tweaked your arm in a tournament there, Mid-Atlantic, and kind of caused you to miss your trip to Texas. Tell me a little bit about that injury, how that happened, what you did to get past that.
Yeah, so we were playing you guys, I think it was game 2, and I don't remember who hit the ground ball. Someone hit a ground ball, and I fell while trying to make the play and put all the pressure on my right arm, and I ended up spraining my wrist while doing that. I kind of landed on it awkwardly, and that was about 3 weeks before the Open. So I was trying to still, rehab it, try and get down there, but the doctor told me it was going to need probably another week. So I almost still went, but it was like, am I going to spend all this money, go down there, and, let down whatever team I'm playing for when I pull myself after a game or so, you know what I mean? So it was a tough pill to swallow, but it had to be done.
Yeah, that would have been a tough one. Definitely something to look forward to all year, and then not be able to make it. But definitely,
yeah, man, it was rough.
Definitely no lingering issues with that. You got past that, moved on, because you're throwing like nobody else right now. So.
Yeah, I really do feel great this year. Definitely. Thanks for taking notice. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, like I said, you're going to show up down there in Frisco, and you're going to see, the best of the best players, most of the best. Hopefully, we get them all back in there. What do you think's going to happen? How are you expecting to hold up when every guy you're facing is an established hitter? Do you think you can work these guys like you're currently working now through Palisades and Mid-Atlantic? I'm just curious. I like to ask guys what they're expecting, because that helps me build these tournaments and, and try to cater to everybody's needs. So I'm curious what you have to say here.
I think we're going to get down there. It's definitely going to be different when you play at nationals, because most of the teams you play are going to have, at least three, maybe 4 big bats. So it's definitely going to see a lot more super teams. So it'll definitely be a lot more of a challenge. That's nothing against, where I'm playing now, because I feel like I'm playing top level wiffle ball, as we speak. But when you get to nationals, it's definitely a lot different. Everyone's, trying to bring their A game really put together at bat. So it'll be a grind every game, but it's going to be, equally as hard for teams to pitch to us, I feel like. So we'll see. I think we'll fare well, though. That's for sure.
Yeah. So what do I set the odds on Earl taking it down? What do you guys?
I'd say we got, I'd throw us in that 50% chance at least. You never know. It's once you get to the playoffs, man, it's just down to those big hits. I realize it just got to make pitches. And I know I've done it before, so if I can, rekindle that those old, 2013 years, I could, maybe make a run at it.
Yeah, you're
down and come up with the big hit.
You're doing good. I'm putting all this pressure on you now, and you're holding up, so I like that. Well, yeah. So I think you guys are a very well-built team, and you're going to be tough to beat. No easy outs, on the team, from what I can tell. You got seasoned veterans that have played a lot, and I've seen all of the great players. So it's going to be very interesting, especially with the format that we have. It's the famous fast plastic triple shoot. So which basically boils down to you got to be at your best every game. There's no sandbagging, taking the back seat in hopes that you get an easy ride later on. It's just not going to happen. So you got to come right out of the gates gunning. But
yeah, exactly. That first game's usually the biggest.
Yeah, it is. It sets the tone for the rest of the tournament. So anyway. Yep. Well, Connor, man, it's been great talking to you. And like I said, you're having one hell of a season so far. I enjoy watching your pitch, and hopefully Brett will get you on Game of the Week a couple more times this year. If not, we'll catch you at Mid-Atlantic. JB, you got anything for Connor?
Absolutely. Connor, can you give us a drop?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
No doubt. I'm Connor Young from Medford, New Jersey, and Fast Plastic Radio is my favorite wiffle ball radio station.
That
Excellent.
works. Yeah,
Yeah.
great, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Connor. So, yeah,
problem,
man,
guys.
thanks a million for coming on, and maybe we'll be getting a hold of you later on in the season, get you back on, get an update things.
Of course. My pleasure, guys. Yeah, definitely let me know if you want to get me back on here. I'd be more than down. Looking forward to Texas. I'll see you guys a few months.
All right. Have a good one.
Absolutely. See you, man. Connor Young, they're calling on the Fast Plastic Radio Network all the way from New Jersey.
Joyzy.
JB,
you got, what do you have over there? Coffee or water?
Water.
Well, it's Witter.
Witter.
Okay.
I
was, think I was with Derek Anderson, Joel DeRoche, and Brian Shills, and we're sitting in a Denny's or something, Friendly's, or I don't remember, some kind of weird restaurant somewhere in New Jersey.
Uh-huh.
The waitress comes up and Joel kind of elbows me and says, "Listen to this." And the waitress takes her drink order, and Joel mumbles something. She said, "Did you say you wanted Witta?" And he looked at me and smiled, and I started cracking up, man. Like, yeah, definitely in Trenton.
All
right. So what do we have here? Are we on time?
Actually, we're a little early, a little ahead of schedule. So what do you want to do?
Well, right now I've got Palisades banner up on our suntan line screen there, whatever.
I'm gonna have to bring some sunglasses next week.
It was a great week 6 there for Palisades. Go back and you can still watch a game of the week on their Facebook live feed. I think be a couple more weeks out before we get to see our next game, next matchup. You can still get in, look at all the standings and statistics.
Absolutely.
It's all out there, guys. PalisadesWBL.com.
Check it out.
Yeah, definitely. So I would say we need to take care of any business we can. Otherwise, it's up to you, man. Your call.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break then, and we'll be back right here on the Fast Plastic Radio Network.
You're listening to
Immediate medical transport. Lost a finger? Need stitches? Get to the emergency room fast. Now serving 32 states. Don't let bad ball prepping disasters ruin your game. Use Immediate Medical today. Burl's Chainsaw Shop. Tired of your mama's steak knives? Use a chainsaw by Burl for all your ball stepping needs. It's faster.
Hello, I'm Frank Bartles, and this here's my partner, James Brown. As the weather starts getting too hot, we hope you will reach for one of these. New Bartles and James Brown wine cooler.
It tastes good.
They come in 3 funky flavors. Gravity grape, prime of passion fruit, and my personal favorite, papaya.
Papaya's got a brand new bag.
It'll get you off faster than a big city lawyer. And a single pack serves 6 to 10, just like James.
New Bartles and James Brown wine coolers. The cooler, made in the cooler.
Now behind bars everywhere.
And thank you for your support.
You're listening to the Fast Plastic Radio Network. Fast Plastic Radio Network.
And we're back on the Fast Plastic Radio Network, and we're getting a couple messages here and there, people wanting to do some calling in. It's going to be coming up here momentarily. We've still got one more segment to hit before we open the lines to our callers, so just hang tight, because now it's time for
me to say something here first.
Go ahead.
There may be some guys wanting to come on the show. You can send us an email at what's the email address, JB?
WROC935therock@gmail.com.
or fastplasticnct.com. Tell us what you want to talk about, and we'll try to get you scheduled to come on. We've got a lot of guys lined up, but we can always try to squeeze in another guest here or there. So anyway, I interjected that on you, JB. So now back.
No problem. Well, it's time for
all right. We all know what that means, right? You know what that means, JB?
Oh, I know what that means.
It means I'm just getting warmed up. So let me get warmed up here. Get everything lined up here. Yeah. Got to get loose, get ready for this. I got a big segment here. I got to get ready. Getting adjusted. Hang on a minute here. My coffee cup look like it's in the right spot over there.
It looks good. Looks good.
My phone positioned right. Yeah, I'm getting some messages here. My ink pen's in the right position. Got to get loose, get ready, set up straight, right? You always got to set up straight, right?
That's right. Project your voice.
So, I got to be right up into the mic. But once I start getting ready, I can just keep going and going and going, right?
Absolutely.
I'm just getting warmed up here. So what do you think, JB? It's pretty bad radio doing that crap, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Just stalling, taking forever to get to the point.
Yep.
Just getting warmed up. Nobody cares. So that kind of leads me into what I want to talk about. What about a pitcher getting warmed up before a game? What about a pitcher taking 15 minutes to get warmed up on the field? What about a guy taking 15 minutes to get warmed up on the playing field while the other team's waiting to get out and do the same? That's called bogarting the field. Well, guess what?
What?
That sucks. That kills the tournaments. It kills the sport. Guys, it's got to be curbed. No thing sticks a mesquite thorn in my craw more than some dude dicking around watching a game rather than using that time to do the pregame work so that he's ready to go at the scheduled start time. Last year at the Texas Open, we placed 4 bullpen strike zones in strategic spots for guys to get in some work, hoping it would speed things up a bit. And it worked. It did. So what I'm saying here is, why do you guys wait until you take the flat hill to start getting loose? Why aren't you working the sidelines? Help a guy out, help the league out, help the tournament out, stay on a time schedule, because we don't like having these games run, over an hour and a half for sure. Once you start getting about an hour and 5 minutes, you start running into huge red lights. And the pitcher getting loose contributes a lot to that scheduling conflict, and I tend to do something about it. For the 2018 Texas Open, we will have these same bullpen areas ready, and I expect everyone to use them accordingly. Don't expect to get on the playing field for 10 or 20 minutes, getting a workout out there, trying to figure out how to pitch and trying to figure out which balls work the best, or how the wind affects your slider, or if you look fat in these shorts. Don't be doing that, guys. The Fast Plastic Rule Book simply states, in plain black and white English, a pitcher will get 10 warm-up pitches before the start of the game. Once he takes the mound, 7 warm-ups between innings, and 3 after a ball has been declared illegal or lost. So let me read that again. A pitcher will get 10 warm-up pitches before the start of the game once he takes the mound. 7 between innings, and or 3 if his ball is tossed because of a crack or has been deemed illegal. Pitchers may not throw any warm-ups when they switch balls on their own during an inning. A relief pitcher will receive 7 warm-up pitches unless he has previously pitched during the game. So if you are a starting pitcher and you move over to play the field, and then later on in the game you decide to come back in and pitch, there's no warm-ups, no getting ready. You're good to go. If a relief pitcher comes into the game due to a result of an injury to an active pitcher, a reasonable amount of time will be allowed for the relief pitcher to warm up. All right? It's pretty simple. I mean, did you understand that, JB?
I did understand that. Yeah,
Right.
It's plain English.
Plain English.
Plain English.
So I guess I can end it with this. Old guys, listen up. Throw on the sidelines. Make the most of your downtime. All right. That's that.
All right. Moving on.
Moving on. So earlier, Tim Cook was on. He was talking a little bit about the team he played for back in the late 90s through 2004 called the Stompers. They made a really deep run into the 2003 National Championship Tournament. Actually ended up getting to the Final Four and playing the Shockers from Tracy, California, which was the DeRoche brothers and a couple other brothers, Smith brothers. Anyway, that game, that Final Four game, in my opinion, could have been the one of the most exciting games ever in Fast Plastic. There were numerous things that occurred, but probably the most prominent highlight from that was a catch made by Adam Friend. And I'm going to play a video clip of this on our new in-studio screen here. I'm not sure how visible it's going to be because we're still working on the...
Going to try anyhow.
But eventually I'm going to put this up, guys, on the Facebook pages and such so everybody can see this. So we all see guys, you know, showing highlights of players making catches, going over, you know, the home run fence, and the fence caves in like my screen here, and he makes a catch and all of that stuff. To me, that's nothing. I mean, a guy that jumps over the fence, catches the ball, that's a home run.
Right.
You know,
right.
You're leaving the field of play. So those catches don't really hold up to me as being spectacular. But this catch that Adam Friend made in this game is probably one of the most spectacular catches I have ever seen in sports, period. It was unbelievable. And I've got some notes here about it. It's up on the screen. I don't know how visible that is. But it was at the 2003 NCT, which was in Cedar Park, Texas, Austin. It was a Final Four game. As I mentioned, Stompers versus Shockers. The winner of this game goes on to play the Vipers for the national championship. Adam Friend made a potential game-saving effort here. We had a capacity crowd watching the game, and this catch was captured on a documentary that was called Whiff, which was awesome. I have a copy of that. And as I stated, it's perhaps FP's most dramatic game ever. And the game was tied at this point. It was in the 9th inning, score 0-0. And JB, let me see if I can somehow manage to bring this up without catching stuff on fire here. I had it ready to go. Here we go. Can you see that at all?
You can make it out a little bit.
All right. Well, here we go. So we got Nick Schaefer. Anybody ever heard of Nick Schaefer? Little skinny guy somewhere up there in New Jersey. He's playing for the Stompers. I think it may have been his first year playing for them. And you've got Ryan DeRoche in the batter's box. So here we go. There's a drive. Adam Friend makes a diving catch, runs into the fence, saves the game for the Stompers. It's just unbelievable. Like I said, in my opinion, it's probably the greatest catch I've ever seen in sports.
That's a hell of a play right there.
It is. So I'm wondering in today's world where Adam Friend is, if he's still out there, if he still has interest in playing wiffle and better yet, if he'd come on the show and we could talk about that. Get a hold of Jim Dalby, get on the West Coast Wiffle Report and talk about it some. But
Absolutely.
That's an awesome play. There's another one that I have on video. It's from the 2002 national championship. I think it's in the Final Four, possibly. Maybe the I think it maybe was the national championship game. And Jim Ballion, it's Vipers versus State of Mind. I think I was pitching the game, and Ballion does a similar layout, catches over his shoulder while he's laid out.
Awesome
So
play.
it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, that's that. So now, JB, that brings us to my next piece here. As you can see up on the screen, what's that say up there?
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Final Four to be held Sunday.
Sunday, 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 guys. Final Four to be held Sunday. So if you know what that means that we have made a decision that the Texas Open will carry into Sunday morning. We're going to cut the tournament off Saturday night. We will have a couple rounds, 2-3 rounds of the playoffs being played under the lights at night. And just like all of those fantastic years playing in Austin, carrying the Final Four to Sunday morning before a capacity crowd. And there's quite a few reasons why we've decided to do this. And I'm going to touch on a couple of them here. Number one is, after being burned in 2009 by the weather, I've still got that fear. We kind of dodged a bullet last year with the weather. And in case we do get some inclement weather on Saturday, we have a lot of extra time with taking those last 2 rounds of the playoffs and putting them on Sunday morning, or vice versa. If we see we're going to have bad weather on Sunday, then we can go ahead and squeeze it all in on Saturday. The other thing is, we can avoid having to start the tournament Saturday morning too early, which, you know, it's never fun to be out there playing when the grass is still wet, you know, getting up, it's still dark outside, and you show up at the fields, the sun hasn't risen, you're trying to get ready, get warmed up, and the sun's not even up yet. And I want to be able to give guys a little bit more time in the morning to get ready, play a little bit later, you know, in the day, drier weather. And then on Sunday, we can show up out there and start getting loose around 9 a.m. First game's going at 10, be finished by 1. And the guys with the trophies are headed to the party town, wherever it is, to hang out. Everybody can still get their flights, normal times, and get out of town. Yep. So I think it's just going to be an overall better experience.
That sounds like a better way of doing it.
I discussed this with at least 5 guys, and you know, everybody seemed to be on board with it. And I did get feedback, guys also saying that one day they thought was good, but really, if you take in the risk factor, I think this is the way to go. And going forward for years ongoing, as long as we're doing Fast Plastic, this is the way it's going to stay, unless we get some kind of a deal that's just too hard to beat. But anyway, for the last time, Sunday, 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 the Final Four.
That's right. All right. Well, that wraps that up. You know what?
No, what?
Do you have a shirt that you really love?
You know what that means?
What does that mean?
It's time for shirt or jersey of the week.
Jersey of the week?
Jersey of the week.
All right. Well, let's talk about it. We were watching the Texas Wiffle Ball League live gameplay earlier, right?
Absolutely.
So here you go. This is from the Texas Wiffle Ball League. Will Marshall gave me this shirt. It's pretty nice. Nice. Has such a nice velvety sheen to it. Smooth on the skin. Lightweight. Fabulous. fabulous graphics.
That's a very nice logo on the front. 2017.
So if you'd like to pick up one of these shirts, I'm sure Will can get you one at a minimal cost. Contact the Texas Wiffle Ball League at, where would that be? TXWL, I believe. At
I don't know.
We have to look it up on Facebook and all that. I forgot the actual.
Well, we'll figure it out. We'll get it posted here on the Facebook page.
The web address.
Yeah. So
anyway, good shirt, guys, and next week, I don't know what kind of shirt we'll have on here.
We probably won't have a shirt next week.
That's right, we won't.
We'll be celebrating America's Independence Day with some firecrackers, some whisker do's or whisker don'ts.
Yeah.
You know, so just depends on which ones we buy. So right now, I guess we're gonna open phone lines.
All right, let's open it.
Take some callers. If you're out there and you want to call into the Fast Plastic Radio Network, the number is 618-200-9260. And call us up. We'll put you on.
If you know anything about black cats, give us a call.
We've got a call right now.
Wow.
Fast Plastic Radio, you're on the air.
Oh, hey, how's it going? My name's Tom Gannon.
Hey, Tom, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Doing well. So where are you calling from, Tom?
I am calling from Auburn, Massachusetts. It's about 45 minutes outside of Boston.
All right, cool. So what's on your mind?
So I actually have just decided that I am not going to be able to get a team together to go to Texas. So I am a free agent on the market. I'm looking for a team to go because I don't want to be able to miss out on the tournament.
Yeah, well, you're doing the right thing by calling in to the show and letting everybody know. I know a little bit about you from your Palisade stats, but you want to tell us a bit about your playing ability, what you're known for?
Yeah, so I'm a left-handed pitcher primarily. I don't have electric stuff. I'm not throwing absolute gas, but I'm able to throw strikes. I don't really throw the ball straight at all. And I actually threw a one-hitter against the Cardinals on Sunday. Unfortunately, we actually lost that game. We didn't score any runs.
Yeah, that's always a killer, isn't it, Downer?
Yeah, D-Weg, he pitched a great game. He threw, I think, 2 one-hitters.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, whoever came up with that total bases stuff needs to be hanged. So yeah,
I like a lot of places do bases loaded, 2 outs in the extra innings. I like that a lot.
Yeah, really, you do? You like that?
I mean, if you have to speed the game up, I mean, obviously I like, playing it out normally, but sometimes you end up playing 14 innings, and it's tough to do that in a tournament when you have to, have the timing right.
I was never much a fan of manufacturing or what would you call it, manipulating the base running situation like that. And I was joking about hanging the total bases creator because I was on the board of directors, I think, that initially drew that plan up back in the USPPBA days. And I've caught
that's probably the worst way to lose.
It is. I've lost that way many times. So, but I think it really does reward the team that puts the bat on the ball, which is what we're all out there trying to do. So, but anyway.
So, there was actually one game, I think the second week of Palisades, that it came down to strike throwing contest. They both pitchers, they threw 5 balls at the zone, and whoever got more strikes ended up winning.
Yeah, that's cool. I pushed one year in Fast Plastic to go to a shootout, probably like 2004, 2005, and Bruce and I talked about it for a long time, and he shot it down and said, nah, probably not a good thing, but so, all right. So you're looking for a team, you can pitch well, you played quite a bit, you know what you're doing. What are you looking for in a team?
Well, I mean, obviously I'm just looking for the best team possible, but I would like to pitch, I'm about to turn 21 years old. I'm pretty young. I'm comfortable throwing like 20 innings in a day. But other than that, just, also, guys that'll be fun to hang around with. I'm going to be hanging out with them for, the whole day into Sunday. So
yeah, so
hopefully people all end up liking.
Yeah, definitely. That's huge. You got to have the camaraderie going. And what did you think about the Sunday announcement?
I mean, I like it. A lot of big tournaments have to go into the second day. I think that'll make it a lot easier. But tough part is everyone going to make it to Sunday, or will some teams be eliminated?
It'll be the final 4 teams on Sunday.
All right. Well, I just hope everyone comes back to watch, but I'm not too worried about that.
Yeah, they will. They will. In the old days of FP from 2003 through 2008, I mean, there were easily 100 people just camped out watching the last couple of games. It was pretty amazing. So I'm expecting similar this year. And Jonathan's been talking a lot about barbecue and beer and all kinds of good stuff, for the spectators. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that could be even bigger the second day if you get, most people there are going to be watching.
Yeah, definitely. We want to make a big production of it, have it where guys can watch it on internet feeds, and JB maybe there calling the game. We'll have some guest announcers coming down. So it's going to be a pretty big production. Hopefully we can
be a big event.
Hopefully we can find you a team, Thomas. So if anybody interested in talking to Thomas, how can they get a hold of you?
They could find me on Facebook, and I try to comment on all the stuff. I think I shared it, so you might be able to find me if you just look at everyone that shared, this video. But other than that, I could give you my email. It's Gannon, GANNON.T@husky.neu.edu. So if anyone's old fashioned, that's how you want to get a hold of me. That's probably the best way to do it.
That'll work. Or just email me at fastplastic at fastplasticnct at Gmail, and I can forward the message on to Thomas and see if it's a good fit. So
yep, even if you're just looking for a lefty specialist,
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm playing in the Palisades. I've got I think I'm actually the top third in on base percentage. I know that's not super great, but
yeah,
that's something.
Yeah, you can get out there and check Thomas's stat line too, if you see what you're getting.
Only look at the stats after I got traded to the Pirates.
All right, man. Well, thanks for calling in. And
thank you for having me on.
And as always, thanks for listening.
Absolutely, Thomas. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Have a good one, man.
You too.
All right. Well, we had another call coming in, but I couldn't get to it in time. So if you're out there listening, you want to call us back here at studios, 618-200-9260. Talk about what's on your mind. We'll definitely hear you out.
Might have been a prank caller. Didn't you have one of those earlier?
Well, yeah, I did, but who knows?
Yeah.
I think I have an idea. I think that was a number from Indiana. There's an Indiana prefix. I think I know who it is.
Indiana, huh?
Yeah.
Indiana Jones?
No, I think it was the Indiana Mad Hoosier calling.
Oh.
Yeah. That's who I think it was. So, Hoosier, if you're out there, try calling back now. Lines are free.
Yeah. Fast Plastic, Texas Open. Can't say it enough. Columbus Day weekend.
Get registered now.
Yep. What's today's date?
Today is the 27th.
27. We got 3 days left to get that $100 team registration completed. You can go to the Fast Plastic website at fastplasticnct.com, and it'll walk you through the whole process. It's pretty simple. Pay credit card, whatever, on PayPal, and then I will shoot you an email, just kind of confirm, make sure everything's good to go. But July 1st, we'll raise the rates back to normal rates, which is $150 plus the $1 processing fee.
Processing and handling.
Yeah.
All right. We got another caller on the line here. Welcome to the Fast Plastic Radio.
Welcome.
So this is the Hoosier, correct?
The Mad Hoosier.
Absolutely. Calling in from the big city of Indianapolis.
No, I'm actually in Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha, Nebraska.
Wow. Husking some corn?
No, I'm out here watching the College World Series.
So how's that going?
Well, not too bad. Pretty good game so far.
You got a score?
I will get you one here in just a second. I got a cold beer in my head right now, so it's Oregon State 2, Arkansas 3.
All right, very good.
Top of the 7th.
Top of the 7th.
That's cool. What's the weather like out there right now? I'm curious.
Right now it's probably about 70 degrees or so, but it's been awful rainy out here the last few days, and some of these games have been postponed.
Yeah, a lot of that rolling through the Midwest.
Absolutely.
Yeah. For those of the folks out there listening to FPRN, the Mad Hoosier was a staple back on the JB and Steve-O show here on 93.5 The Rock. Made several in-studio appearances and several phone call appearances. So he's kind of a legend here on The Rock.
I don't know about that.
Anything exciting been going on there, Hoosier?
No, not a whole lot. Just, running up and down the road, just seeing the world.
Gotcha. So when are you going to make your way here back to the Southern Illinois so you can do an in-studio appearance with us?
Well, I'm hoping here in the next couple of weeks to be back that way.
Well, absolutely. You can come in, hang out with us, have a couple cold beverages, and maybe we can get some good music going and have a good show.
Oh, absolutely. So you guys doing a big 4th of July show?
Well, it depends if I get the Whisker Do's or the Whisker Don'ts to shoot off this year.
Yeah. Well, you gotta blow some stuff up on that day, don't you?
Well, that's what it's about, isn't it? I don't think anything will ever take the place of us almost blowing up a whole stage.
Well, details that we don't need to maybe go into too much.
It was the boom heard across the lake that year.
Absolutely. You kind of kept messing with me, and I just had to prove a point.
So do you know anything about knifing wiffle balls or anything about Black Cat firecrackers?
Well, maybe a little bit about the Black Cat, yes.
But nothing about knifing wiffle balls, huh?
Well, maybe a little bit about wiffle ball, not a whole lot.
Do you even know what knifing wiffle balls? Do you know what I'm referring to?
I don't believe I do.
It sounds pretty strange, doesn't it?
Well, yes, it does.
What would you say if I told you that young guys, teenagers, young men take big butcher knives and all these sharp devices and they start cutting up these plastic balls like there's a technique, there's a science to it? What do you think about that?
Well, that sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I guess what's the point of doing this?
Well, they say that they're able to make the ball move in certain directions, like they have better control of it.
Oh, well, that sounds very interesting. Have you experienced this yourself?
Yeah, I have. I got a couple buddies, Stumpy and Old Four Fingers. They, they used to be into it quite a bit, but it's kind of curtailed bit now. They're not so much into it these days.
Lost a few digits, and they don't think so much about it anymore, huh?
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened to old Stumpy.
Yeah, it is.
He didn't land the knife in the right place, correct?
Yeah, you could say that. Well, hey, Hoosier, I'm going to let you go. I appreciate you calling in. Catch up with me, okay?
That sounds good. We'll do that.
All right. Have a good night and have another cold one for us, okay?
We'll do that. Absolutely.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
All right. Later.
Bye. Oh, the old Mad Hoosier calling in from the Omaha, Nebraska. Now, he is from Indianapolis. That's one, of course, why he's called the Mad Hoosier. So
he's out there watching the College World Series.
Yeah. He travels to Omaha quite a bit. So Phone lines are open. We've got 5 minutes left. If you want to call in and just get on here and talk about who knows what, you can. 618-200-9260. If we don't get a caller here in the next minute or so, I think we're going to say adios until July 11th is when we'll be back right here on the Fast Plastic Radio Network.
That would be 7-11.
7-11. Thank you. Come again.
Yeah, that's quite a ways out too, isn't it?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
2 weeks. There you go.
2 weeks. So again, just remember, no show on July 4th. We're going to celebrate our Independence Day, and hopefully on the 11th when we come back, we'll have all of our fingers and we won't look like Stumpy. So,
yeah, thanks to everybody for listening. Be sure to share this broadcast, help grow the sport, support all of the other leagues and organizations out there around the country. Adopt a scuffed wiffle ball near you, guys. There's lots of lost balls out there that need your help.
Absolutely. Well, it doesn't look like we're going to get any calls. So until July 11th, everybody have a safe 4th of July. Make sure all your fingers are accounted for after the fireworks display. Until the 11th, we'll see you. We're out of here. Have a good night.
I bid you farewell, arrivederci, sayonara, and all that sort of jazz.
What's that smell?
Adios, you chicken-plucking little stinker! Come on! Quit stalling!
As I was saying, Buster, this planet ain't big enough for the two of us, so off you go.
Well, I can't do any more damage around this popsicle stand. I'm out of here!
Puffer and Succotash, I wish you'd reconsider.
We hope you enjoyed the show.
When I say whoa, I mean whoa!
Do I hear amen?
You're mocking me, aren't you?
Darn, that's the end.